If you're even thinking about taking your family to Disney World in 2026, this is the best week to start. My Black Friday sale is from November 21st to the 28th, when all of my planning tools are 30% off, bringing my entire planning system to under $100. So for less than a single park day ticket, you'll get my entire step-by-step system, from sketching out your week to saving hours in line every day, so that you're confident you're planning the best and most efficient vacation possible. You'll have access to my pre-planning guide, step-by-step itineraries, the Lightning Lane toolkit, my discount library, all of the things, plus direct help from me when you get stuck. So click the link in the show notes before November 28th to join Laid Back Magic at the lowest price. See you inside. Today I'm hanging out with Marianne Southerland, who I was really excited to talk to because she has just a very wide range of knowledge when it comes to Disney World. Not only has she stayed at every resort, but she can really get into the little nuances. She just has this very analytical brain about staying club level, which resorts are the best and the worst to stay at Christmas. And I love chatting with her about DVC, and that is Disney Vacation Club. You're going to be hearing us say DVC a lot in this episode. But my favorite thing is chatting with her about what to do when your, quote, perfect plan meets your very real, sometimes very chaotic family. One of the things I love about Disney World is there's always something new to learn, and Marianne makes a lot of good points about playgrounds, staying off property, and also shares some things that may or may not have hurt my feelings a little bit. But that's okay, because I loved hearing her different opinions, and I think you will too. Hello, and welcome to the Laid Back Magic Way podcast. I'm your host, Dana Stanley, creator of Laid Back Magic. As a mom of 3, I know how tough it can be to find time to plan a Disney World trip that doesn't leave you feeling stressed or overwhelmed. That's why I'm here, to help moms like you create Disney vacations that feel even better than they look on paper. Here, we're not chasing perfection, but creating our next favorite memories. So whether you're brand new to Disney or looking to go deeper into the details, this podcast is your go-to for simple tips, mindset shifts, real-life trip recaps, and expert insights to make your trip magical and manageable. New episodes drop every Monday, so be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment. Okay, let's dive in. I have been so excited to talk to you ever since we ran into each other. You're one of the very few people I follow that I actually got to meet in person. I think I've met maybe like 2 or 3 people, and you're one of them. Okay, so we saw each other first at Animal Kingdom Lodge because we were both staying there. And then we ran into you in Hollywood Studios on like the hottest day of my life, melting into the pavement. I had a great trip on that trip. I think it was July of last year.
Yeah, that sounds right. July in Disney is just...
I know, and yet we keep doing it to ourselves.
I know. The price is right.
Well, and it makes sense that we ran into each other there because I think we were both renting DVC points, I believe, and staying there.
Yeah.
I hadn't stayed there in a very long time. I do really like Animal Kingdom Lodge a lot. I think we kind of bonded over that. And also, I think the food is the best at Animal Kingdom Lodge / Animal Kingdom Park, which I think maybe you agree with.
Yes, 100%. Best food.
Yeah. Like Disney World stuff in particular is what I want to talk to you about. Have you stayed at all of them? All of the deluxe resorts in Disney World?
I have stayed at every single resort at Walt Disney World. Value.
You have?
Deluxe, all of them. Yep, every single one.
That is so awesome. So if you were talking to someone that hasn't been to any of them, what would you say in terms of, like, do you think deluxe is worth it versus the other resorts? Like, is it actually worth the cost for the differences of like amenities and all of the things?
Yeah, so I'll say too, let me preface by saying, I say that I've stayed at all of them as like a resume builder, not like a pat on the back. I also kind of wanted to check those boxes because I thought it would be cool. And at the time, I was like really leaning into giving Disney advice. So I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I really want to like experience things for myself. Like that's just who I am. So I'm like, I want to stay at every resort so I can confidently be like, this is somewhere you should or shouldn't stay.
Yeah, like research purposes. Even if you don't like want to stay there, you want to try it so that you can give feedback.
100%. So I say that because I feel like I can confidently say, for me and my family, the only reason we will stay on property is if we're staying deluxe. Now, there are a couple of reasons why I say that. I personally would rather stay offsite than stay value. And that's like a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. For us, the deluxe resorts really feel like vacation. And we've stayed like in the deluxe, like the resort part, and then also the DVC part of a lot of these resorts too. Being able to have that perspective of like, and I've stayed at the DVC Disneyland. We've stayed at Hilton Head. So I feel like the Disney deluxe resorts do set themselves apart based on like experience, but also you have better dining options. You have walkability or transportability, whether that's boat, monorail, whatever, not just to parks, but also to the other resorts. So if you're like, hey, I'm really tired of what this quick service option is at Wilderness Lodge, I'm going to get on the boat and go over to Grand Floridian for breakfast this morning, or I'm going to head over to the Polynesian. You can't do that at the value resorts. I mean, I guess at the value resorts, you can do that at the All-Stars because you can like walk and they're kind of all connected. And you can do that a little bit at some of the moderate, but I just feel like the convenience of it is better at deluxe. But yeah, I feel like the room size, just the quality, the level of service that you're going to get, like it just truly feels like a vacation rather than a constant overstimulating experience of like Disney, 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 Disney. Some of you might like that, but I need a break from that.
Well, and I get asked a lot, like, what's the best resort for toddlers? And some of the value or moderate resorts will come up because of the theming. Like it is over the top, a little bit more over the top. But I said recently in an episode that I think the convenience is the best for toddlers. Like toddlers will play with like a cardboard box.
100%.
So they don't need necessarily the over the top theming. I think like there's things that I can see my son, like Pop Century, Art of Animation, be like, wow, like he loves cars and all of that stuff. But for me, the best resort for toddlers and or as a family is just convenience, I think, of the location. So it sounds like for you, I mean, I imagine kind of like pricing being like little circles of like a radius around Disney World. So you're going to pay more to be close and then less to be farther away. And it sounds like with value, if you are going through like if you only have a certain amount to spend and you have a certain budget, instead of going value to save money, it might be better to just get a house or Airbnb off property with a car.
Yeah, that's what we do because then you have space. The value resorts just feel very, and I'm not like a hater, by the way. Like, I mean, I think any Disney trip is a great Disney trip, I will say.
For sure.
Yeah, I just would rather have like a 2-bedroom condo and drive into the parks, not deal with the buses, not deal with, I mean, the buses are the most reliable form of transportation.
There's a lot of bus stops too at the value resorts, right?
Yeah. And it's just like, sometimes it kind of depends. It depends on the busy season. It depends on like what resort. Like sometimes Art of Animation and Pop will share a bus.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just a lot. And I would rather be in my car with my stroller in my trunk, in charge of the AC, in charge of the music with my kids rather than like, you know, that shuffle.
I'm getting more and more like that. And I can't get my husband on board. Ever since adding the third, I'm like, wouldn't it be nice to just like, if he's screaming, it doesn't matter because we're in our own car. He ended up loving the buses and that he's the opposite of how my other kids were. But I think that's something I might just make him try next time. Even if we do stay on property, just having a car for those days that I don't want to take a bus. If we can walk, obviously we will walk.
Even when we're on property, we sometimes will drive because we typically always drive to Disney. So
that's so nice.
Something else I do want to mention though about, because I just thought about it, is it's not just like the convenience, but also I think, let me also back up and say that my kids never ask to go to a value resort. They only ask for, my daughter asks for Grand Floridian and my son asks for Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's the pools too, right? And the amenities, like you're just not going to get like the cool slides or the cool water features. And for us, we actually do stay like at the resort a lot. Being pass holders, we're fortunate to not have to feel like we have to get our money's worth out of a park ticket. So we do spend a lot of resort time, and like even just the pools and the amenities are better at the deluxe resorts. And so that's why I feel like it really feels like a vacation rather than like I came, I got in a hotel, I went to the Disney parks, I went home. Like we try to make it a holistic like resort experience when we go.
This all leads me to what I was going to ask, because you mentioned your kids' favorite resorts. Out of all the deluxe resorts, what is your favorite? But then, which I think is going to be hard for you to say. I feel like it's going to be like certain situations. And then also like your husband and your kids. You said your son likes Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yep.
And your daughter likes Grand Flow?
Yep.
What about you?
Okay, so it's so funny that you say that, Dana, because literally as you're asking me that, I'm like, well, it depends on what type of vacation we want.
I know. How about like time of year? Like where would you go for Christmas?
Christmas, Wilderness Lodge, hands down. Don't put me anywhere else.
It's funny. We were looking there for the summer. I mean, it would be fine and great and wonderful in the summer. I just was like, I don't know. It has like that cabin, woodsy, even like Halloween. But Christmas, I know they have that beautiful tree.
Yeah.
And it is like a very holiday vibe. And then how about, I mean, I feel like it's either Christmas or summer.
Yeah.
Like those are the two seasons.
Yeah. Well, I think ours separates a little bit out from that. So like, let's think summer. So we do stay club level a lot. And so if I'm staying club level, it's going to be Grand Flow. There's not a better, we've stayed at almost all of the lounge, all of the club level resorts.
And what makes that club level? For those who don't know, can you just do a very high level overview of what club level means?
Yeah. So club level or concierge level is you're not really paying a fee, but you are definitely paying more in your room rate. But you get access to a lounge that serves breakfast in the morning, light hors d'oeuvres and snacks during the day, and then like heavy hors d'oeuvres. I think you could even like eat a full blown dinner there personally. In the evening, alcohol, beverages, Mickey bars, snacks, like unlimited as you go. And then you also have access to your own concierge team. So when you get there, if you need help with booking any reservations, changing any reservations, like you need some lightning lane tips or literally like anything, like getting a minivan, whatever, the concierge team is available to those staying club level. So it is costly, right? I'm not going to pretend that it's not, but I would say we like to stay club level when I really want to show up and not think about a single thing. So like I don't have to order groceries, right? Because I can go grab snacks and waters and get a can of Diet Coke, throw it in my bag to take to the park. I don't have to worry about literally anything, right? I can eat breakfast there.
And that starts like on the morning of your check-in day, right? So like if your room's not ready, because that's one of the things I always run into, especially with DVC, like it'll be a while. It'll be 3, 4 o'clock, sometimes even later until our room is ready, which is hard because I want to get my groceries and I want to get unpacked. I want to give crew his milk. Whereas if you showed up at like 8 a.m., like we take an early flight, you drive, you can just head straight to the lounge.
Yes. And if you had like, I don't know, if you're pumping, this is so specific, but it's a lot of us, right? Like I've been in the parks when you're pumping and been to and they'll store your milk for you in the club level fridge in the back. Like to me, it's like, it is the perfect thing for a person who isn't budget conscious, but just wants to show up to Disney and not have to think.
Yeah. And you think Grand Floridian's club level is better specifically for the lounge, I'm assuming?
Yes. The lounge, the food, it's 3 stories.
Oh my goodness.
So when you go into the Grand Flow lobby and you look up, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th floor are all concierge level. It's called the Royal Palm Club. So when we're staying club level, we prefer to stay Grand Flow because it's our favorite. Animal Kingdom Lodge, just side note, because I know we've talked a lot about DVC. Animal Kingdom Lodge is the only resort that has club level where you can rent DVC points or use DVC points towards a club level room. And they have by far the best food.
So those who are listening, I'm just going to explain what she's saying is if you want to stay club level at any of these resorts, you would be booking through Disney, like their website cash rate, versus Animal Kingdom Lodge is the only DVC resort where you can also do club level. So it's either like club level or you're using or renting DVC points, with the exception of Animal Kingdom Lodge. And is that at the main building or Kidani? It's at Kidani.
It's at Jambo.
It's at Jambo.
It's actually the top floor. So if you're in the Animal Kingdom Lodge Jambo lobby and you look up, it's an open air. So the Animal Kingdom Lodge, Wilderness Lodge, and Grand Floridian, all three of those clubs, lounges are open air, meaning they're at the top of the lobby. Like if you look up.
And you like that?
It can get a little loud.
Okay.
Especially, so we did Grand Floridian. So that's why everyone's like Grand Floridian at Christmas time, which obviously has changed this year with the new bar and them not doing the gingerbread house. It's very loud in the lounge at Christmas time. And so I actually I don't think you could pay me to stay at Grand Floridian at Christmas time, to be completely honest. It's hectic.
Usually in the lobby, they have this huge gingerbread house, and it draws a lot of people from locals to the other resorts just to visit the gingerbread house. This year, they're skipping it because they were updating the lobby and adding a new bar. I'm assuming you don't love this whole situation. What do you think about the bar, the new bar?
So I will say that I tend to try not to have an opinion until I get there and experience it for myself. I'm very much I have to experience things for myself to form an opinion. I don't know what it is about me. It is who I am.
That's good. It's not like preconceived judgments.
Well, I do have some of those too. So don't throw that out. Trust me. I have plenty of those. So instinctively, I don't like it just because, I don't know. I don't think it's very kid friendly. And that's just my personal opinion. I understand that these resorts and Disney isn't catered to just kids. And I get that and respect it. I don't know. You've got Enchanted Rose upstairs. For us, typically, if we're staying at Grand Floridian, we're staying club level. It just gets super loud up there. It gets so loud and echoey. And
does Wilderness Lodge get busy in the lobby during Christmas?
Yes, but not as much. And I think that the lobby, so Wilderness, just the footprint of it. Side note, by the way, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Wilderness Lodge, and Grand Californian were all designed by the same architect. So they have
that makes total sense.
Yeah, very similar vibes. And I always say that he would have designed Lakeshore Lodge, the new resort that's being built, if he were still alive. It's very similar. The flows are different. So at Grand Flow, it's open, but I feel it's just not as big as Wilderness, because at Wilderness, you can go back and to the side. And then at Grand Flow, you're kind of trapped a little bit. So it feels more congested than it does at Wilderness Lodge.
It doesn't have a lot of offshoots of places to go at Grand Floridian.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I think you and I both love renting DVC points. And one of the problems that I've run into is I kind of convince people to rent DVC points, and then they love it, and then they love DVC, and then their next question to me when they get back is, do you own DVC? Should I buy DVC? And we are DVC owners kind of by, I married in. I'm just going to say that. I married into a DVC family. So we use our points only with our family. We don't, and when I say family, I mean the in-laws, our brother-in-law, my niece, we all share them. We don't use those when it's just the five of us. So 9 times out of 10, if we're in Disney, we're renting points. For us, I can see both sides because I've experienced both sides of seeing my in-laws when they joined DVC, the boardwalk wasn't even built yet. It was a little table with a mock-up of what it was going to be like. I think back to when they joined or became members, I wasn't in the picture. Their 4 grandbabies weren't in the picture. And now all these years later, we get to keep experiencing that as the family gets bigger. On the other hand, I don't think Colton and I would join DVC. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts, so I'll try to keep it as concise as
That's
possible.
fine. You can be long-winded.
So I want to preface by saying I'm actually not anti timeshare at all. Like I think that it does make sense for some people. I personally just don't. So I get asked this a lot too, Dana, right? Like people are like, why haven't you bought in? Why haven't you bought in? It makes so much sense for a family like you. I would argue that it actually doesn't because we stay off site like 2 or 3 times a year. When we do stay on site, we like to stay club level a lot. Like we've kind of gotten the hook on that. And then when it's so, I feel like relatively easy to rent DVC because we kind of know when we're going to vacation. Like we'll do some last minute trips, but like I don't have to worry about, needing to change my vacation every month on a whim. I don't know. I've also kind of heard some horror stories about DVC owners not being able to like get dates that they want. And I'm like, man, if I were putting that amount of cash into something, which that's like a whole nother, I wouldn't personally finance anything.
Well, I can jump in and say that is us because, we have a certain amount of points. We go every other year for our big family vacation and people I don't want to get like too into the jargon, but people will walk reservations and it's like very hard to get what you want. And even my father-in-law, like he doesn't understand. He's like, what do you mean we can't get a room? We're DVC members and we can book first. That is the difference, which I could explain just a little bit, is you can start booking at your home resort. So like we are members at the Boardwalk, we can start 11 months out. Versus if, let's say you owned at Animal Kingdom Lodge and you wanted to stay at Boardwalk, you'd have to wait until 7 months out. So because it's our home resort, it should be just like log on in the morning and get a room. And unfortunately, it's not like that. And I can attest to that.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a lot of money too. Like for the amount of, I feel like if we were, and now I'm also a never say never person, right? So like you could play this back to me in 5 years when I'm like, I'm on a DVC contract and be like, yeah, you hypocrite. I mean, totally, like,
proof.
Anything's possible, right? I've listened to the presentation. I have like listened and talked with people about DVC because again, just my nature, I'm like, I want to know about it before I make a decision about it. But yeah, it's so easy to rent. And now I know availability has been getting scarce a little bit, but with us and the annual pass discount, bounce back offers, and being able to rent DVC, me personally, I cannot say that my family is going to vacation at Disney World for the rest of our lives. I just can't say that. Would I love for that to happen? Absolutely.
I think that's the defining factor for any group or like rewards program, timeshare. It's worth it if you do that one thing a lot, like going to Starbucks every day. Like if you are only going to get coffee from Starbucks, you know that, then use your points, scan every time. But if for the next 30 years, you're not sure, or 20 years, if you're not sure if your kids just like one day are like, I am so tired of this, or you just want to start vacationing other places, or your kids get really into Universal.
Exactly. It's a risk reward type for me, right? Like I am okay paying extra right now and not being locked into a contractual obligation for 20 to 30 years.
Yeah. I'm on the same page, but I also, it's hard because I have that nostalgic factor of like, I imagine like my dream is to be my in-laws. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And be in Disney at the Boardwalk with my grandbabies. Like I'm already priming my kids for that. So I do see both sides. So I would just say if you are like committed to like you're drinking the Kool-Aid, you know that you're going to be going back every year, it could be something to look into.
100%. For some people, it does make sense. But I would just like, I also am a believer in this. Don't make the decision while you're at Disney. I will say.
Well, because you're like on drugs.
You are 100%.
Yeah.
You are like, you smell Main Street and you smell whatever diffusers they are putting out at you at whatever resort, and you are on your Disney high.
Yeah.
Do not make your decision until you get home. I would just at least do that. Sorry, that's the mom in me, but like.
And also wait until like you're not so sad. Like,
yeah.
Don't do it the day that you get home.
100%.
And you're like, I want to go back.
Yeah.
I know that you are very knowledgeable and have like a well-rounded knowledge, I would say, of Disney World. What is your, I hate to say hot take. What's your like favorite tip? Like what you want to say to people, but you know that maybe you'll get some backlash for it.
Yeah, so this one might ruffle some feathers.
That's exactly what I was going for.
Okay, good. I love to do
You can even ruffle my feathers.
Okay, here's what I wish I could like sit every person down and tell them. And I mean no harm by this. It's just truth. Your travel agent, your best friend, or your favorite Disney content creator is not always going to give you the best advice. I know it's like a hard pill to swallow, but everything that I like to do is not going to be what you want to do. Everything that your travel agent knows isn't going to be what your family needs to know. Everything that you know, Dana, is not going to be what every other family needs to know or is important to them. And it sounds so cliche, but like, I truly think it's a mindset thing. Again, this probably will sound harsh, but the only person responsible for the magical experience of your vacation ultimately is you. And it's your mindset. There are going to be things that go wrong. Trust me, have we had meltdowns? Okay. My son has had a meltdown and ran backstage at Epcot. Okay. I'm like chasing him down. He's like back there with a French chef in France pavilion. And I'm like, I'm sorry, he's mine. Like, okay. Like stuff goes down, right? Like, and you get stressed out. Your travel agent may have told you something that ended up not being right because mistakes happen and people like Disney is changing 24/7. I have put out like, these are my must-dos at this park. Listen, if you know anything about me, you know that I have my Animal Kingdom is a whole day park flag waving all the time. But if you don't like animals, it is not a whole day park for you, right?
Right. And it's funny because like I love all of the parks. I go back and forth between Animal Kingdom and Epcot. Pre-kids, Animal Kingdom, hands down, was our favorite. And we've skipped it like the last 2, maybe 3 trips because it closed early. It didn't make sense with our plans. I didn't want to get up super early. We weren't staying close by. I completely agree with you when it comes to not only the advice, because I've even had members who they go through my planning course, they have support from me, and they have great trips. Like nothing goes awry per se, but in their trip recaps, sometimes they'll give like a little piece of advice for like other people. And they'll say something like, just FYI, if you order groceries to your resort, like you have to show ID. I wish I would have known that ahead of time or something like that. And I want to be like, I would have told you that. Or like, not you should have known that, but like, I know that. And I wish that I had been able to tell you that beforehand so that you were aware. My point being, it's literally impossible to download your travel agent's brain or my brain or your brain into someone who has like years of experience for one trip. So you have to go into it knowing that you're literally going to be learning what you liked and what you didn't like. And the only way to know is to do it. Things are just going to be surprising. And unfortunately, I can't even say that you can repeat the trip because no 2 trips are different because your kids get older. There's trips that I long for, like May 2022, like one of my favorite trips. It's so sad I'll start crying, but that'll never happen again because they're different and they're older.
No, it's so true. It's so true. I don't know. And I don't mean that like anyone's giving like wrong advice, but here's the other thing is like things happen for people too that don't happen for others. I don't know. I saw that another creator on TikTok shared that like you get free grocery delivery because she was never charged a grocery stocking fee from her resort. And like, but that was true for her experience, right? Because she wasn't charged. But like, there have been times where I have been charged and times where I haven't been charged. There have been times where I've had to show my ID getting my groceries. And I'm going to be honest with you, there have been times where I haven't. Sometimes a cast member isn't doing their job either, right? And so like, there are so many variances. And I know that these are little things, but like, I don't know. I just also about like the things that you want to do. Like if you see everyone on Instagram, like, I'm sorry, Dana, this one might pierce you a little bit.
It's all right. Is it about Boardwalk though?
No, it's not about Boardwalk. Okay. You know, I hate the Boardwalk, but There is one ride that you will never see my family on, and it's Peter Pan's Flight.
No.
Okay.
That actually doesn't hurt me.
Okay,
That doesn't hurt me as much as Boardwalk, to be honest. Because the thing about Peter Pan, I know that I have the nostalgic factor for it because I grew up getting on that in Disneyland. And one of the stories in my family that we still talk about is I wet my pants waiting in line for Peter Pan. So now as an adult, I will only ride Peter Pan if we are walking right on with a lightning lane because I will maybe pee my pants.
I love that so much.
Okay. So I understand. I wouldn't wait.
No, I wouldn't even get a lightning lane for it, TBI.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. Okay.
So like,
all right.
I mean, truly, but like, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't do the things that like you feel like you have to do. Do the things that you truly want to do. And sometimes you're not going to know until you get there. Right. And that's why it's so important. And I love what your course teaches about like what to do when that happens. Right. So like know how to modify lightning lanes, know how to modify your dining reservations, know how to pivot, I think is so much more important than knowing if you want to get to Storybook Circus the fastest way from Tomorrowland, go through this. Like, you're not going to remember that stuff. Like,
right. The hacks.
Yeah. Like, do not stress yourself out over that. Spend more time learning on how to pivot and how to like be in the moment because you're going to get there and you're going to be like, oh, if it's your first time or even if you haven't been in a while, you're going to think you like know what to do. And then you get there and you see your children. This is where I get emotional. And like, to see them there and like, honestly, what's so cool about us going so often is that they want to do something different each trip. And if I like sat there with my little itinerary, like I think about all the magic that my kids would have missed out on and in turn that I would have missed out on because I was over there with my clipboard, like being a psychopath. Well, sorry, I probably shouldn't say that anyone's a psychopath.
No. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think about all the things that we've done on a whim that have been like the coolest experience. Like my son loves animals, right? That's why we love Animal Kingdom Lodge. That's why we love Animal Kingdom so much. He is in kindergarten and every Wednesday they have library and he gets to pick out a new book. And since the first week of school, he has brought home a new animal book every single week. It's like the most precious thing. But we were going to park hop and meet some friends over at another park. And I ended up being like, he will not leave Animal Kingdom. I'm so sorry. We're going to have to like reschedule. And I'm also like, sorry, I'm going to put my family first, like above all things. So he ended up having a one-on-one experience with a zookeeper because we like pivoted and listened and like let him. Now, I'm not saying let your kids have their way all the time. Let me also make that clear. Like sometimes you need to pivot them, sometimes like, but when it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have had that like one-on-one experience if I would have been like strict.
No, we have to go.
Yeah.
Because we had this thing. I mean, meeting up with your friends, you could use that with other variables of like, no, we have a lightning lane. We have to go.
Yeah.
So how do you, I mean, obviously we talked about like things do go wrong. I get asked a lot recently, specifically about like, yes, mindset, but what do you do? Like, what is your approach or what are the thoughts that kind of like go into your head of like when you know what absolutely hits the fan? Wheels are coming off. You like almost broke your nose, I think, one trip.
Oh, I did break it. Yeah. Yeah.
Did it actually break?
It actually did break. And they told me I needed surgery to fix it. And that's why it's still crooked. Yeah.
What did he do? What did your son do? What did he do to you?
So like I actually toughed it out for the rest of the evening because I didn't want him to feel guilty because like I know his heart. So we toughed it out. But because it was like a mommy and son date, but we were in line at Alien Swirling Saucers. And have you ever had like, he was like bending down looking at something and I was looking over him and
he didn't know.
No. And my son also, he has ADHD, like legitimate ADHD. So he is like just, when I say Energizer Bunny, like bing, bong, bong, bong. So he just jumped up and headbutted me like right as I was looking down and broke my nose, fractured my nose. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. And of course I like did the whole, people are like, go to first aid. I'm like, guys, I posted this a week later. Like, relax. We're fine.
This is not live.
This is called...
She did not post live from Disney that her nose was broken.
This is called marketing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everyone was also irate that like I didn't break my nose by getting like punched in the face by a character too, by the way. It was like, you didn't break your nose at Disney.
Your son broke your nose while you were at Disney. I was thinking about when anyone is in Disney World and you know that you have to pivot or things are just really going AWOL.
Yeah.
What kind of goes through your mind, or what do you tell yourself?
We're getting the heck up out of here.
No questions asked. Just abort.
Abort half the time. That is what I do. That is not what I would tell a family who is there as a day ticket holder. So I want to preface that. That's what our family does, right? Like we have the privilege to be able to go often, so we get the heck up out of there.
So if you had to stay in the park, what would you do?
If I had to stay in the park, we would go do something quiet. I think here's also what I want people to know. Do not care about anyone around you. It is you and your child in that moment, and they are having a full-blown meltdown. And I want to, like, I get that probably more than most people. Okay.
And also, no one's paying attention to you because they're all worried about their own kid having a meltdown.
And if they are, so be it. You're never going to see them again. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? You got to let that.
That's what I thought about breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Literally everywhere. I was like, I'm never going to see them again.
No.
It's fine.
No. And if you do, hey, how's it going? So, like, get them calm down. If you feel like, I would personally, like, cancel any dining reservations that I had for the rest of the day.
Which is 2 hours now.
Yeah.
PS for the listeners, which is awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is really nice. Or try to move them if they're, like, you know, coming up. Maybe not totally cancel. But first thing is, like, get everyone calm, on board. I would go do something, like, very not stimulating. So go to the playground. If you're at Epcot, if you're, well, not really at Animal Kingdom anymore, Boneyard, but there are more chill things that you can do at Animal Kingdom. If you're at Magic Kingdom, go to Dumbo Playground. If you are at Studios, pray for yourself.
I know. Studios is so hard.
You know about Studios, I love this tip. This is like a random tip. If you're at Epcot, Magic Kingdom, or Studios, and your kid's having a meltdown and you get them calm, tell them that you're going to go on a monorail ride or a Skyliner ride and try to just like maybe get them relaxed a little bit and away from crowds. Go on a walk outside of the park. So like you have the walking trail to Boardwalk from Hollywood. From Magic Kingdom, you can walk over to Grand Flow or walk to the Poly. At Epcot, you can walk around Crescent Lake. Like remove yourself from the park to an extent where you're not like really removing yourself and just decompress.
Mm-hmm. I say that because, not that I ruffle feathers, but I'm just such a diehard for like a midday break. But with every scenario, there are different variables that maybe that doesn't make sense. If someone's staying off property or you have older kids who don't nap, that's my advice is if you're in Magic Kingdom, just go over to like Polynesian and just kind of sit in those big chairs and
let them play in the sand. Yeah.
Or let them play on your phone.
Yes.
Like, honestly, like we've done that where like we have to go back to the room and like literally dim the lights, read a book, do an iPad, like just, which can be stimulating, but it tends to calm my kids down in certain scenarios.
Yeah.
But just getting out of the parks because it's hard to relax when it's like FOMO when you feel like you have to be doing something. But if you just go to like a nearby resort, Epcot to Boardwalk is awesome. Or the boat. Epcot to the Riviera would be really nice.
I also, this is like probably and not very often used, but if you are at Magic Kingdom, get on the boat and go to Fort Wilderness Campground. Not Wilderness Lodge, Fort Wilderness Campground. That's also one of our family's favorites, by the way.
Is that on that's like the same boat route, right? Like you just get off at that stop?
Sometimes, okay. No, they have their own separate boat. Yeah, sometimes there's a campground boat. Well, it depends. Again, it depends. It depends on busy season, whatever.
Yeah.
Typically, it can be different. Anyways, the campground, when you get off of the boat at the campground, there's a big beach, but then there's a massive playground. And it's like weeping willows. Not weeping willows. The tree with like... I'm just picturing it. It's not
the moss?
Yes, thank you. Moss. Not a weeping willow.
I mean, that looks like a weeping willow. Yeah, same vibes.
But there's a quick service Trails End Cafe right there. You've got your big giant playground. You've got your beach. It's like, because there's not a playground at Grand Flow There's not a playground at Wilderness Lodge, and there's not a playground at the Poly or the Contemporary, right? So that's your only Magic Kingdom playground. That is like an amazing spot to decompress as a family.
I think I'm going to try that, especially like people listening that are sad about Tom Sawyer's Island being gone. That sounds like a great alternative.
Very similar vibes.
So selfishly, I want to talk to you about your house just a little bit before we wrap up, because not everyone would know this, but you're renovating a lake house from 18 something. How old is it? 1970. Okay.
Not too
Not that old. Ah, yes. The 1970s. But what you're doing is so cool because you're doing these like very subtle nods to Disney by like theming each room.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. And everyone needs to follow you just to follow that in itself is very cool. What's your project right now?
Oh my gosh. Well, the project,
all of them,
literally. That's why I'm ADHD, but also just the way life has lifed. I don't think we've like fully finished a single project, or I've finished a single series, because I'm always waiting on a contractor or like someone to finish something that I can't do myself.
Right.
So, couple quick ones that we've done is, speaking of DVC, we love community hall. So most DVC resorts have community hall, which is a place where kids of all ages can come, and they have different activities that you can do. So they have like video games for the older kids. They have like, some of them have, I'm going to say table sports, LOL, like ping pong and
yes,
billiards and like whatever.
Foosball?
Yeah.
Right. Foosball. There we go. Yeah. Look at us. We're like sports.
Yeah, sports, table sports. But they have like toys and blocks for little kids and like activities, crafts you can do, and then also like free coloring, whatever, a bunch of stuff. So we transformed our dining room, because we have a whole nother dining area, into our own community hall, so that we literally call it community hall. So my kids are like, they're literally like, I'm in community hall. But that's where our Mickey Mouse wallpaper room, that's our community hall. So that's where they do their homework and their activities. And then my daughter's bedroom, where it's inspired by the Grand Floridian. And then her bathroom is like her own little bippity boppity boutique. My porch is inspired by the new Poly Tower. We're almost done with that. I'm waiting on new screens. That's why that's paused. And then just a fun little teaser. We have an elevator in our house. Not because, I live in a nice house, but not because I'm like that.
You're going to do Tower of Terror?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah. So we're going to make the elevator Tower of Terror themed. That's next.
That is so cool. I think if you have an elevator in your house and you like Disney, you have to do something.
You have to.
I can't wait to see that. I feel like we just got like an inside peek at your upcoming plans.
You did. I haven't told anybody about that yet. But yeah, I feel like now, if you didn't know Disney, you wouldn't walk into my house except in the bathroom. But you wouldn't walk in there and be like, oh my God, this girl's a Disney freako. It's very like...
No, it's very tasteful.
Yeah.
For those that are listening. We're not... No cheese. No cheese allowed.
No cheese.
That's so cool. Thank you so much, Marianne. Can you tell us where to find you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram. It is at Marianne Southerland. And on TikTok there as well. Same handle.
Awesome. And I'll have those linked in the show notes for everyone to give you a follow. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dana. This was fun.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Laid Back Magic Way podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode and it was helpful for you, it would mean the world to me if you'd write a quick review. Your reviews help more moms like you find the show, and I read every single one of them. Seriously, thank you in advance. You can find me on Instagram at Somewhere Worthwhile, and I'd love to hear from you there. DM me if you have any questions about this episode or what you'd like to see in future ones. Until then, keep planning for your next favorite memory, and I'll see you next time.